Good morning, Lionhearts. How are you today? We all are experiencing West Virginia today. I've never been here, and we're going to Point Pleasant. If that sounds familiar to you, you probably know about the Mothman. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Point Pleasant right there. And welcome to wild and wonderful West Virginia. What a crazy story the Mothman has to him. And we'll talk about the Silver Bridge as well. Here you can see an old sign that says Historic Point Pleasant, scene of first battle, American Revolution, October 10th, 1777, site of Washington's camp, 1770, site of Fort Randolph, 1776. And somehow that is not the most famous thing in this town. Let's go see what is. As you can see on the left, there's a world's only Mothman museum, which probably means that's who this statue is of. That's right, there's a legend of impending doom, that when some sort of crazy natural disaster would happen, this Mothman would be seen outside of town. Many cases, as people were out driving, he would fly up to their car, fly back. It was supposedly 7 feet tall, 15-foot wingspan, bicycle reflector type eyes. And then in 1967, when the Silver Bridge collapsed, he had been seen before that, and in the area they haven't seen him since. Now there are rumors that he still does exist. There are rumors that he was spotted before 9/11, and I'm not just being sensational about it, that's really what they say. So you almost wonder, because they also say he was spotted in Mexico before H1N1 broke out, so you almost wonder if he's responsible for what's going on in the world today. And then you take a look, good abs, gotta give him credit for that. But the sign says, Legend of the Mountain. On a chilly fall night in November of 1966, two young couples drove into the TNT area north of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when they realized they were not alone. What they saw that night has evolved into one of the greatest mysteries of all time, hence the Mothman legacy began. It has grown into a phenomenon known all over the world by millions of curious people asking questions. What really happened? What did these people see? Has it been seen since? It still sparks the world's curiosity. The mystery behind Point Pleasant's West Virginia Mothman. And of course they have a yearly festival that I want to come to sometime. So let's go on in and check out this fantastic museum. The world's only Mothman museum. Who's excited for this? As soon as you come in, there he is, hanging from the ceiling before you go to the museum. So since multiple people have had encounters with the Mothman, there are somewhat varying descriptions, but everyone seems to have kind of a similar description, and they all stand by it. Big wingspan, glowing eyes, and some people say it's not a mystery at all. Some people say it's actually an owl. And my stepdad actually said that he had family living in this area when the bridge collapsed, which was the last time the Mothman was seen around here. He said they came out here the next day and checked it out, and they have some of the pieces of the destruction here. Now this is a model of a power plant, the North Power Plant, and they believe that the Mothman was kind of hiding out over here. It says that this is the building that the Mothman flew into when the two young couples spotted the creature in the area. It was demolished in the 90s because it was considered a liability of safety. But that's where they all believe that his hideout was either in or near. Some believe he was living in this little bunker up there. World War II bunker. Each one of these panels is a different eyewitness account, or a different page of someone's account of what they experienced. You have something from Linda Scarberry over here, In the middle is Mary Mallet. And then Roger Scarberry. This is great. If you take a look at these, you can actually see in these old newspaper clippings where they mention, you can see couple sees man-sized bird creature or something. Here you can see 4 more say they saw a red-eyed whatever. Monster, no joke for those who saw. 8 witnesses now testifying to seeing flying creature. Winged red-eyed thing. Chases Point couple. Wow. Some people don't know if it's a creature or a UFO or what it is. They just know something is flying over their head. And in some cases flew right up to their car, stopped, and flew away. In fear of the UFO bird. So I was mentioning to you that my stepdad was telling me that he had family in the area and they came and visited right after the bridge collapse. 45 people died in this, and right there it is. Now some experts say this had nothing to do with the Mothman. This was a design flaw. But those around here say that was the last time he was seen, so I don't know. Survivors of the bridge disaster here laying in the hospital. Then here's a piece of the bridge, and my stepdad was telling me when he came out that day, the day after, he actually had a piece of it just like this. Silver Bridge disaster is what it's known as. Look at that. 70 vehicles plunge. And this is a Silver Bridge disaster armband for those who are recognized for their service during this. That's part of the bridge. Part of the street, actually. Look at that. It's part of the asphalt that was on the bridge that broke. And this basically is a diagram of how the bridge would have looked and how it would have operated. You see it goes up and then comes down, and look who's sitting atop. And here's a 45 of the Ray Anderson song Silver Bridge Disaster. Now everything that you see over here on display is from the Mothman Prophecy movie. So you've got mementos, wardrobe. This says the cake stand and the napkin holders were both from the movie with Richard Gere and Laura Linney. And then here we have some of the watches and chapstick and things like that from the movie, as worn by Richard Gere. Then here are the telephones from the movie and the license plates they used, as well as tail sticks and some breakaway glass. It says smashed glass used in Deborah Messing's car crash scene. And then here you have Laura Linney's complete police uniform. She wore this in the Point Pleasant scenes filmed in Katanning. And the blanket that came into contact with both Richard Gere and Deborah Messing in the motel scene. What do they mean, Mothman costume? Looks like a real one to me. Even though it's closed, take a look at this. They have a little Mothman cafe inside, or a little theater. It's kind of interesting. I like seeing this kind of stuff. This is an original draft of the Mothman Prophecies book. All hand typed and everything. Whoa! Then we're gonna go into this vault. Oh, I guess not. Could have fooled me. Look, the museum continues on. Now it looks like a bulk of this room is about John Keel, the man who became obsessed with this area. He was studying UFOs and he traveled all over the country interviewing witnesses about the subject. And then he came out here because he turned this into kind of his research area out here. Said he had already received numerous reports of strange phenomena, people around here calling it UFOs, but he spent quite a bit of his life trying to research this. He said he kept interviewing people and kept finding that they all had the same story. So here they have his suit from the Mothman statue ceremony, and there he is wearing it. And here's John's desk and some of his personal letters to the eyewitness Linda Scarberry and her parents. So you can see here some of the original letters on his letterhead. See if we can focus a little bit on that. And then would have been his telephone with the original phone number in there. I love when you see that. And this section over here talks about the fallout shelter and the TNT factory and all that stuff, that things that came from there. That was black powder container. Talking about the ordinance, Senator Kennedy wrote a letter to John Keel. You can see Robert F. Kennedy signed this letter right here. It says, "Thank you for your thoughtful letter on so-called unidentified flying objects. Many reputable scientists agree that there must be other beings in the universe. Dr. Harlow Shapley, for one, has stated that there is a high probability that there is other life in the universe. To believe that there is other life in the universe is not, however, to believe that UFOs are manned vehicles. Other explanations of this phenomenon connect the lights that are seen," what's that say, "with the gaseous tails of comets. A careful analysis of sightings to date have not given us indication that UFOs are manned." It's like, I agree with you, but since we don't have any evidence, we're gonna say that they're not manned. Then here's some information on Project Blue Book, 1966. Tell you what, guys, I don't think there's anything such as Mothman. I haven't seen any Mothman since I got here. What is that? Thing is that if one person saw it, two people saw it, yeah, you might say, I don't know. But when a lot of people are reporting it, there's got to be something to it. Not just this couple, but multiple people. Look, 4 more say they saw red-eyed whatever. Ooh. I don't know. I didn't call you a red-eyed whatever, but someone did. And then this display over here just shows how the Mothman has entered pop culture in so many ways, from art to comics to movies. A little bit of everything.
Well, the festival's a lot of fun now. When things started, it was a lot different.
Check that out. Kind of like a Point Pleasant Monopoly board. My stepdad loves this kind of stuff, and he really wanted to come here, so I said I want to go too. I think it was worth it. Let's go check out their merch. This is their tour shirt. You're like, what? Tour shirt? The Mothman World Tour. There you go. They have some really great merch. That's the sign of a good museum for me, is good merch. Oh, even tie-dye merch. I'll catch you on the next tour, Mothman. But I think I gotta get one of these shirts. I think I just got to. They have some great ones though. On the way out, I noticed they had a cooler full of beverages. Mothman root beer. On that note, I think we can take off the museum. So we found a map that looks like the Silver Bridge would have been right over here, where this is at now. So we were looking at where we think the bridge was, and then we came around the corner and saw this, and it says Carolyn Harris. Carolyn Harris was the owner and proprietor of Harris Steakhouse, which later became the Mothman Diner. She was like a mother to all, always smiling when she greeted her patrons. The highlight for many was when she took time from her busy day to tell stories about the town of Point Pleasant and the legend of the Mothman. She opened Harris Steakhouse in 1969, 2 years after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, in which she lost her young son Timmy and his father. Despite the tragic events, her kindness, hospitality, hard work, and dedication never faltered. Carolyn was instrumental in the development of Point Pleasant and will be forever in the hearts of the residents and many friends who were blessed to know her. Well, my friends, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. I wanna thank John Bannister for becoming my newest Patreon. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Mothman Museum. And if you're not too afraid and you're out in Point Pleasant in the future, come visit the Mothman Museum here in West Virginia. Pretty cool time, pretty unexplainable, pretty awesome. Have a great night, everyone, and goodbye.